And we begin first at 4 with some breaking news out of Knox County. Just moments ago, we learned a man missing for more than 2 weeks was found alive.
At the top of the newscast, we showed you some of that storm damage in Louisa. In fact, a lot of it was at the Walmart. They received significant damage there. WYMT's Alex Casper Peak is now back live at that Walmart. She actually has an interview with the store manager to talk about what exactly happened today. Alex.
Yes, Angela, I'm here with Marty, who is the store manager here at this Louisa Walmart.
WYMT's Cassidy Strickland just talked to Kentucky State Police and joins us now live. Cassidy?
Steve, police say that Jeffrey Taylor killed Shannon Saylor sometime between March 4th and March 21st. Tonight, we begin with breaking news out of Jackson County. Right now, investigators are trying to figure out what led to a deadly shooting. Police say they were called to D&M Road.
We begin tonight with breaking news in Perry County. Kentucky State Police are investigating after a shooting that sent one Perry County man to the hospital. It happened late this afternoon at a home on Elm Shoal Branch Road in the Combs community. Troopers say the man appeared to have non-life-threatening injuries.
Kentucky State Police are on the scene, and so is WYMT's Caleb Noe, who joins us live from Harlan County with the latest details. Caleb, what information have you been able to gather?
Well, Tanner, we don't know a whole lot right now. We know police are still up on the hill behind me, gathering evidence, getting as much information as they can.
We have some breaking news tonight regarding President Donald Trump. Louisville television stations are reporting now he will not visit Kentucky this weekend. Earlier today, we told you Louisville International Airport leaders confirmed a visit from the president. They said they found out about the trip this morning, but they also said they did not know any other details. Crews found a body around 2 this afternoon near Artemis. Investigators say they were looking for missing man Donald Middleton at the time, but state police say they do not believe it is Middleton. Tonight, we're following a developing story in Perry County. Just after 9 o'clock, Kentucky State Police and firefighters from the Vico and Sassafras fire departments were called to a house fire off Montgomery Creek Road. Now, they are not sure exactly when the fire started.
We are following some breaking news in Laurel County.
Several young people were taken to the hospital after a church bus crash. It happened on Sally's Branch Road around 8:30 this evening. The Sheriff's Department says a church bus from Lick Fork Missionary Baptist lost control in a curve and hit an embankment. The driver of the bus, Charles Kirby, who we are told is also the pastor, was not hurt. Several homes are damaged throughout the area after high winds came through and heavy rain fell on the mountains. We begin our coverage tonight in Breathitt County, where some homes were damaged. WYMT's Angela Reigard is there live. Angela?
Steve, I'm standing at a home off of Route 30 East.
Allison Rogers is live in Perry County talking about the snow totals. Allison, what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, Andrew, that's right. On the side of Highway 80 right now in Perry County, you mentioned 50 snowfall totals reported for parts of Hazard. Now I'm here with Angela Reigard, and I know you spoke to some people who were stuck on the side of the road today. Still standing outside of our studios here in Hazard, where the snow is still falling, although it is tapering off just a little bit ago. At last check, we saw that are still seeing that snow. Now, over the last 6 hours, you notice we saw that second round moving in around 7, 8 o'clock. Now starting to taper off just a little bit. Andrew Dockery standing by. Andrew, paint the picture for what we can expect for the rest of the night.
The bulk of the rainfall moving out of the area, like you mentioned, Allison. That's something we continue to look at.
You are looking live at the eastern coast of Florida. Winds are picking up and thousands to evacuate. Good evening to you. I'm Tanner Hesterberg. He's Andrew Dockery, our meteorologist. Andrew, you're watching this storm, and right now it's shaping up to be one of epic proportions.
Yeah, we're watching this storm closely. Of course, Category 4 still, and you see going on in this monitor here.
Meteorologists expect things to intensify in the coming hours. Let's check in with our meteorologist, Andrew Dockery, to see what folks in the Sunshine State are expecting and how they're preparing for the storm. Andrew.
Yeah, Hermine has just made landfall.
The situation is much worse to our south. Within the last few hours, authorities have issued a mandatory evacuation for much of Gatlinburg, Tennessee. This includes the downtown area. Authorities say smoke from a nearby wildfire has made the air unhealthy to breathe.
Thousands of Big Blue fans are there, as well as WYMT's Tanner Hesterberg with a live report on today's festivities. Hey, Tanner.
Ange, good evening from Jacksonville, where it's a balmy 36 degrees. We'll break down the matchup coming up in a few minutes on Sports Overtime. But for now, reporting live in Jacksonville, Tanner Hesterberg, WYMT Mountain News.
Now here is a live look, beautiful shot of the nation's capital. President-elect Donald Trump's inauguration ceremony is, of course, tomorrow. Some students were inside at the time, but all made it out safely. There is, though, heavy damage to the building. WYMT's Phil Pendleton is live at Campbellsville University with the very latest. Phil?
And the complex behind me houses some locker rooms for some of the sports teams here at Campbellsville University.
Folks driving through Clay County this morning had to take a bit of a detour after a trailer caught fire. Officials were forced to close the Hal Rogers Parkway between the Manchester exit and Paces Creek. Hazmat crews were also called to the scene. WYMT's Cassidy Stricklet was there and joins us from the newsroom with more. Cassidy?
We're just asking for prayers in our hearts and simply go out to the families for the students who have been transported to the hospital.
Tonight, folks across the country weep for families in southern Tennessee after multiple students are killed and injured in a bus crash. Some parents in Chattanooga still unsure tonight about the status of their own children involved in that wreck. Good evening to you. I'm Tanner Hesterberg.
Coming up on Mountain News at 6.
Martin County High School dismisses early due to a threat. Now someone could face charges.
New information about a kidnapping case in Knox County after police say a man kidnapped another man and held him for weeks in a building in the woods.
And a Harlan County woman celebrates a permanent fix for minors' health care benefits.
God is the one that gets all the praise, all the glory, and all the honor.
Coming up on Mountain News at 6.
Students and faculty mourn the loss of a student who died in a car crash.
Maddie was one of those students that whenever she walked into your room, it was like a ray of sunshine had just walked through the door.
Plus, people in Martin County remember a woman who died in a weekend ATV crash. And deputies in southern Kentucky make a surprising find in a trailer.
She looked pitiful, she did, and so I just said, this is my responsibility.
A Kentucky man reflects on his experience desegregating a school.
I'm not asking for special treatment, I'm just asking for equal treatment.
Some say disability parking spots are hard to come by because too many people have disabled parking placards.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley.
And I'm Angela Reigard. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Wolfe County.
Just after 4 o'clock this afternoon, we learned from the superintendent as many as two students were sent to the hospital after a school bus crash. It happened on Rexville Road near Hazel Green. The sheriff says there are no serious injuries. Officials say the bus and another vehicle collided with each other. No other injuries were reported. State police are investigating. As you see there, a picture from the scene. We hope to have more information later tonight. Of course, some strong storms moved through that area earlier. Don't know if that had anything to do with the crash, but that line is working southeast across the region tonight.
You can expect heavy rain, strong winds, and possibly some small hail. It's a severe weather alert day, and WYMT meteorologist Andrew Dockery is tracking the storms. Hi, Andrew.
How's it going? Everything time has been flying by here. We've looked at showers and even strong storms like you both have mentioned over the past 2 hours since 4 o'clock. And when we take a look at pinpoint Doppler, we are still looking at this line of storms tracking to the south-southeast. Plenty of lightning with these. In fact, a very active atmosphere. Almost 2,000 lightning strikes across our region. And when we zoom into some of these locations of exactly where the storms are occurring, we see Pikeville picking up on moderate to heavy rainfall all the way into Prestonsburg, into Breathitt County now, into Magoffin County, and soon to be in Perry County. But one storm we continue to watch is just north of London, Small Hill on the I-75 corridor at this time. Wind gusts to 40 to 45 miles per hour. That's pushing through Laurel County. Of course, Angela and Steve, we're keeping people updated on social media as well. We'll have a full look at that forecast coming up a little bit later.
All right, thank you, Andrew. Police say a gunman created a dangerous situation for some Southern Kentucky homeowners. A man was upset about his car being towed and started firing a gun at people, cars, and even into a house.
It happened on Hensley Road near East Bernstadt in Laurel County. WYMT's Phil Pendleton talked with a man who woke up when a bullet came into his home.
Denver Crawford says the bullet piercing his home didn't really sound like it came from gunfire. He says it sounded like a mouse trap catching a mouse.
No, it was just strong enough to come through and fell down against my speaker there.
No one was hurt as he and his nephew were in the opposite end of the home.
Oh yeah, it makes you wonder, you know, somebody doing stuff like that. But I ain't done nobody to be scared.
Police say the gunfire came from this man, 23-year-old Robert L. Hurley III. They say he was mad at another neighbor for calling police to tow a car.
And fired a round from a rifle and then went to a residence nearby and started shooting down at this victim and his wife.
That would-be victim was able to return fire. No one was hurt, but police say it could have turned tragic.
We definitely consider him to be dangerous. I mean, he fired rounds in a neighborhood overnight, not knowing where those rounds were going to go.
Warrants were issued for Hurley's arrest on 2 counts of first-degree wanton endangerment. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Police say they believe Hurley left the scene in a vehicle. They say he lives on Kentucky 490 in the East Bernstadt area.
In Perry County, a man indicted more than a year ago for the sexual abuse of an 11 and 12-year-old is in custody. Today, Bobby Stacy appeared in court for his arraignment and pleaded not guilty. He also faces unlawful transaction with a minor charges. Police tell us Stacy forced the children to perform sex acts on him on 2 separate occasions. Officials could not tell us when they found Stacy.
A busy morning for officials in Laurel County. 3 deputies were injured when they tried to arrest a man during a domestic violence complaint. They tell us the accused suspect ran away from them and into a house. Once inside, he ran into a bedroom. However, when they closed in, he allegedly used his 13-year-old son as a shield. They say he then punched one deputy and headbutted another. They eventually arrested Dennis Stewart and his wife Bosna Stewart, who they say also tried to get involved. Both face several charges, including assault and wanton endangerment. Social Services placed 3 children in another home. We hope to have more on this tonight at 11.
In Harlan County, a drug roundup led to police arresting 16 people. The Harlan County Sheriff's Office, Appalachian Narcotics Investigations Team, and Kentucky State Police worked together to make those arrests. They originally set out to arrest 30 people and tell us they have more warrants. Each person arrested faces at least 1 trafficking charge.
It's no secret Eastern Kentucky has seen the effects of the opioid epidemic. Here in Perry County, health department officials say they see those effects regularly. But soon there will be a chance for the community to help and potentially save a life.
There's a lot of stigma attached to drug abuse.
At the Perry County Health Department, they see a lot.
We have a lot of overdoses. We have a lot of folks who have a lot of deaths from overdose.
The opioid epidemic hits close to home, so they want to do something about it. They want to provide naloxone or Narcan to the community.
It's a drug that is used to reverse the effect of an opioid overdose.
This is what a Narcan kit looks like. Inside is a nasal spray. In just a few weeks, they're going to give these out for free.
Obviously, we want people to have the medication so that if they do have a friend, a loved one, someone that they know that may overdose, that they can save their life.
At the same time, officials will provide HIV and hepatitis C testing along with counseling. Some worry the spread of hepatitis C will eventually affect the supply at blood banks.
We see a lot of hepatitis C. We see a lot of our prenatals who are hepatitis C positive already. The babies are born hepatitis C positive. We see a lot of babies that are born addicted.
They hope by providing these tests and kits in the community, they will also help people better understand addiction and maybe address that stigma.
An addict is still someone's child, it's someone's mother, it's someone's brother, sister, mother, father. Somebody loves that addict in spite of their addiction.
Now, on May 26th, the Perry County Health Department will host an event where anyone can come and pick up a Narcan kit, receive HIV and hepatitis C testing, and also receive free counseling. This is for anyone and everyone, first responders, family, friends, anyone who could come in contact with someone struggling with addiction. The event runs from 11 until 3 in the back parking lot.
A few protesters gathered outside of Congressman Hal Rogers' office today in Hazard. The group held up signs voicing concerns over the Republican health care plan and Congressman Rogers' support of it. The House passed the bill known as the American Health Care Act last week with a 217 to 213 vote. The bill now goes to the Senate, where it will likely undergo some changes, but people who showed up to protest say they are worried about the future of health care.
I think this new law is ridiculous, and I like the Affordable Care Act. It could be changed slightly. I want to look at anything they have in the future. I want to see what the Senate does with this. But right now, I'm glad we still have our Affordable Care Act and our health insurance.
Now, Congressman Hal Rogers released this statement today saying, in part, quote, "The bill is not perfect, but it isn't finished. The U.S. Senate now has an opportunity to help rescue our people from Obamacare's unaffordable taxes, mandates, and broken promises. And it's urgent."
Seniors at Rockcastle County High School were told to stay home today or else. Principal Jennifer Madeline says she informed the seniors to stay off school property during graduation practice yesterday. Madeline says since the early 2000s, the school has dealt with senior pranks, and over the years, those pranks have escalated, even causing damage to the school. This year, she heard a rumor about seniors squirting underclassmen with water guns mixed with water and vinegar when getting off the bus.
We had a lot of calls and concerns from parents in the community yesterday who have underclassmen, and their kids were anxious about what they had heard had been planned for them today. We're proud of our kids. We're proud of our seniors. They're good kids, but we also know that we have students who sometimes make poor decisions, and we just want to protect them and protect all of our kids.
Officials told students not to show up until 5 o'clock today. Any senior who did not follow the rules would not be able to walk at graduation tonight. We now know the names of 2 people critically injured in a Floyd County crash yesterday. Police tell us they are 45-year-old Kent Price and 16-year-old Elizabeth Price. They say the minivan they were in a commercial vehicle collided in front of Mann Toyota just south of Prestonsburg. They were pinned in the vehicle and emergency responders had to cut them out. The truck driver went to Highlands Regional Medical Center. We were unable to get an update on their conditions tonight.
Stuck waiting during an emergency. For some in the Elkhorn City community of Pike County, they say they've waited more than an hour for an ambulance. In January, we told you about emergency officials possibly adding additional ambulance services. But as WYMT's Corey McCauley tells us, city leaders in Elkhorn City are still trying to make that happen.
In April, Brenda Taylor's brother, a patient at the Mountain View Healthcare Center, was sent to Pikeville Medical Center.
They did a biopsy on him for the cancer.
He spent 4 days in the hospital.
The doctors released him about 5:30. We had to wait till 10:30 that night to get him home here to the nursing home.
Taylor's story is similar to others who waited hours for an ambulance. The closest service is 30 minutes away.
Yes, I just got a letter from a lady out of Lexington. Her mom lives on Furrows Creek. It took Amos 2 hours and 30 minutes to get to her.
Officials at the Mountain View Healthcare Center say they've also waited hours.
We were giving CPR the whole time, and it was an hour and 45 minutes.
Officials believe the wait time was uncalled for. Elkhorn City Mayor Mike Taylor says since 2015, he's worked to get additional ambulance services.
I will go to Frankfurt if it takes me marching on the Capitol steps till I get somebody to listen.
He says now he's trying to get a service out of Grundy, Virginia to help. In Pike County, Corey McCauley, WYMT Mountain News.
Taylor says he is working to file a certificate of need for Elkhorn City. He says it would only allow services in the city, but it's the only choice he has right now.
Kentucky State Police say they can now accept more applications than ever before. New legislation changed hiring restrictions. KSP is now accepting applications for Cadet Class 96, which is scheduled to begin in early 2018. Town hall meetings will take place around the state this month, and in June, they will provide more information on the application process. KSP officials say more applications mean they have the opportunity to hire the best candidates. This afternoon, colleagues, friends, and families said their final goodbyes to a beloved Mount Sterling firefighter. DeJuan Wells died at St. Joseph's Hospital during the weekend. His cause of death has not been released, but the coroner believes it was an unexpected medical issue. Many people say he was a great person who loved to help others. His co-workers say he did a lot of volunteer work in the community.
He's always around the station. That was his job, was to be around where he needed to be and to serve the men and women that worked with him. DeJuan was liked by everybody. Anytime something needed to be done, he was right there in the thick of it, whether or not he was doing it or making sure somebody else got it done, which is the fireman's way.
Firefighters say Wells will rest next to Battalion Chief Tony Clayton, who lost his life in 2014. They say they wanted to have the two men next to each other looking over the city. Wells's autopsy results are not expected for another 4 to 6 weeks.
A vigil will be held later tonight to remember a teen killed in a car crash. 18-year-old Madison Allen died on Sunday, less than 3 weeks before graduating from high school. The vigil starts at 9 at Ramey Memorial Park. Her funeral is Saturday in the high school gym. We will hear from Madison's friends who are attending the vigil tonight in Magoffin County at 11 o'clock. Coming up here on Mountain News at 6, help for teachers.
Some schools in Perry and Knott counties received a boost today for various projects.
But first, the rain expected later in Harlan County is not a welcome sight for one man. We'll explain.
A few strong storms continue through eastern Kentucky. We'll take a look at the radar coming up.